Section 10, your new routine, 15 core behaviours. Now this is part 2 of 2 of your blueprint for success. Part 1 was section 9, the 11 principles of success, and 10 is the 15 core behaviours of simple weight management. Okay, I'll now go through those 15 with you. So these are 15 core behaviours which will form the framework of your new routine going forward. Number 1 is eat fibre early in the day. And remember how good for you foods, fibre, it fills you up, it satiates you. Remember the apples, once you pop, you can't stop. These bad boys, because how they affect you, but you can't do it with fruits and apples because they're full of fibre, full of goodness, fill you up. Okay, so to start your daily routine, what we recommend is plenty of fibre early in the day, in fruits, brands, oatmeals, within breakfast cereals or fruit and veg within smoothies. Okay, in the first half of the day. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, eat plenty of daily protein. Now you know protein on the good for you side is one of your very best friends. Your body needs it to function well. It's very good for your muscles, and your body has to work hard to metabolize it. It speeds up your metabolism as soon as you eat. So, a core part of your diet, you need to get plenty of protein into your diet. Meat, fish, eggs, lentils, beans, legumes, cheeses. Okay, plenty of protein. Number 3, have high quality snacks available. You've got to keep full throughout the day because the whole program, as you know, is about keeping full and satisfied so your hormones, your hunger hormones aren't going up and down. Okay, it's keeping them nicely balanced. So away from your core meals, let's say consuming 3 meals a day, it's having snacks that keep you full. So we're talking things like chunks of cheese, things like this. You see walnuts and almonds. Grab a few of those. That just help to keep you full, keep you going until the next meal. Number 4, have sweet tasting snacks available. Now there's a tendency, you have a little bit of a crash or you fancy something sweet, tendency to go for the bad for you foods, human nature. But to get around that, what you can do is have some sweet tasting fruits available. It might be pineapple, kiwi, apple, strawberries, or if you want something with a bit of sugar, sweet tasting, something you'll see in the Essential program is dark chocolate. This one, 85% cocoa, dark chocolate, very rich, very, very filling. You can't eat a lot of it, but yeah, chocolate does the trick just there. Okay, so as always, we're not saying you can't have bad for you foods. This is the core elements of the program to build into a routine, so you're not thinking, I'm hungry, and you start heading for the coffee shops for the sweet stuff and eating too much of it. Okay, so these are foods to keep you satiated and keep you full throughout the day. Okay, so number 4. Number 5, use eating psychology to your advantage. First one is smaller plates. Sounds obvious, but it makes a huge difference. Now we're all creatures of habit, and if you grew up in a family where there were big plates and big portion sizes, chances are you've continued that habit, that trend, for up until now, unless somewhere along the line somebody's changed it for you, decided to change it. Every experiment ever done on plate sizes, portion sizes, always comes to the same conclusion. The smaller the plates, the less you eat. The bigger the plates, the more tendency is to put more on it. Again, it's just human nature. So we recommend getting smaller sizes and only preparing enough to fill the plate. If you're preparing loads to freeze some or put it away so there's a chance for seconds, you're likely to eat more. Okay, and the second one is something we've spotted fairly recently, is to consider, if budgets allow, a food delivery service, boxed delivery service like HelloFresh or Noom. where they deliver each week set meals with all the ingredients in the box and instructions for you to just cook it and make it rather than have to buy stuff and figure out what to do. Now, the reason why I recommend this from the people we've seen using these services is, one, most of the ingredients on the good for you side, nutritious, good for you, natural ingredients. But the second one is the portion control is very, very good. They don't overdo this. And we've noticed people losing weight who were doing this sort of 5 days a week. Okay, it ticks many boxes. So if it's convenient and it's within budget, consider one of these meal delivery services where most of the work's done for you. Okay, number 6, slow down your hunger and eat less with good fat snacks. Okay, this is a good weight management hack. Around 20 minutes before a big meal, certainly your main meal, could be other meals, and you'll know, eat things back to our walnuts and almonds or peanuts, good fats. 20 minutes, maybe 5 or 6 almonds, 5 or 6 walnuts, or a dozen peanuts, good fats which fill you up. It takes the edge off the appetite. So when you then come to the main meal, you're not feeling starving, really hungry with a tendency to eat too much. Okay, very good. 20 minutes before a meal. Okay, 20 minutes for leptin to kick in. It's not to replace it, it's just to take the edge off so you start to eat less. Okay, play with that and see how it goes. Okay, number 7, drink water before each meal. Now, hydration is the number 1 habit in the essential habits, and a lot of people mistake thirst, dehydration for hunger. So one thing we recommend, same with eating the good fats, the peanuts 20 minutes before a meal, is to get some water and drink half a pint 20 minutes before a meal. Again, it will deal with any dehydration and help with fullness and take the edge off hunger to prevent overeating when it comes to the main meal. Number 8 is have lots of healthy sex. Now, we touched on this a few times in the program. Now, this is if circumstances permit. Lots of healthy monogamous sex. Multiple benefits. 1, it de-stimulates hunger as it takes the edge off hunger, fills you with endorphins, it gives you a workout, and there are just multiple health and well-being benefits all around on this chart. Okay, number 9, avoid eating late at night. Now, we highly recommend that you finish eating 3 hours before you go to bed. That gives your body plenty of time to digest, metabolize all the food, so when you go to sleep, your body's finished doing all its functioning and it can get plenty of rest. Okay, so we're saying avoid late night snacking. Try to get it 3 hours before you go to bed. Now, in experiments with groups where they eat the same amount of calories, the same amount of food consumed, but at different times, some earlier in the day, some later in the day, the people who eat the calories later, same amount of calories but later in the day, tend to put more weight on. Okay, now with intermittent fasting, habit number 3 in the essential habits, we talk about an eating window. The smaller eating window, the better for your body, the better for weight management. This works in tune with, or in line with that, to bring it further forward or squeeze it more towards the centre of the day and give yourself a few hours before you go to bed. Okay, so the studies show it's not just what you eat, it's when you eat that makes a big difference to your waistline. Okay, so it's avoiding eating too many calories late at night. Using the nuts, the water, whatever, to stave off those late night cravings, raiding the food cupboard, because they're not good on many levels. It affects your sleep, okay, and you're digesting late at night. Okay, right. 10, similar to number 9, avoid alcohol binges. Now, alcohol is full of calories. That's the first downside, and the second one is it stimulates hunger. Most people have been there. If you had a good session, plenty of alcohol, affects your blood sugar, and you're starving. So to try and hit the kebab shop, big extra large kebab with a big double portion of cheesy chips. Wonderful at the time, but not so good for the waistline. And the alcohol and all that food, you go to sleep, your body's trying to digest it, and all the alcohol, all those calories, disrupts your sleep. Next day you're feeling groggy, and then you'll head for the bad for you foods. So nothing wrong with the odd kebab, cheesy chips, or alcohol, but moderation. Okay, once in a while is okay, but doing this consistently is not good for you. 11, sleep like a baby. Now, on the essential habits, we say number 1, hydration is the most important. The second one is sleep. 7 to 8 hours every night of quality sleep is very, very important. And this is why we won't give this weight management program to anybody without them having at least the essential habits, because the stuff you do around the eating makes a big difference. Quality sleep, going to bed with your food already digested, in a nice environment, away from devices, so you get 7 or 8 good hours sleep to recharge the body. Okay, very, very important for your general well-being and for weight management. Number 12, use meal consistency. Touch on this one in the success principles. Okay, decrease your food choices helps with your waistline. Good example, let's say you're going to an all-you-can-eat restaurant, Chinese restaurant, where there are dozens and dozens of choices. Human nature, the tendency is to try more, and you end up eating more because you've got so much choice. When you limit your choice, the tendency is to eat less. So we touched on this before with things like breakfast and lunches, just a few options that you know with fewer ingredients, because you'll eat less. Your main meals, you can have a little bit more, but keep it fairly simple with a small range of ingredients, because the tendency is, it's a natural tendency to eat less. 13, eat throughout the day to stay satisfied. Okay, so eating nutritious snacks and meals regularly on the good for you, predominantly good for you, keeps you full, keeps you satisfied, okay, and it avoids the cravings, because the cravings pop up, your tendency is to go for the bad for you foods. Okay, so it's eating consistently, because what we're trying to do is stop your hunger hormone going crazy. Keep your hormones balanced so it's not a big roller coaster. Roller coaster leads to the bad for you. Now, of course, you can have bad for you foods in moderation, but we want you to fill up on this side. That's the core, at least 80%. Okay, so keeping it balanced, you don't have a big high then a crash. It's much more level. Okay, 14, inspect labels in the supermarket. We've laboured this point and we've kept it on the board. Bad for you foods, refined sugars, refined flours, the bad fats. I want you to just get into the habit of looking at labels and spotting these things and reducing the amount that goes into your shopping trolley. Okay, so you're just aware what's going in there, and you're paying more attention and maybe putting more of these in there. It's something you can, it's a very good habit to get into, and you can see what's really in the food. Taking our old Pringle substitute, 23 ingredients for that pleasure, 1 ingredient. Okay, it's it's a good habit to look at labels and just understand what's going in. Okay, 15, final one, gauge your hunger. Now, as creatures of habit, already mentioned this, you probably follow certain patterns that have been there for your life. Whatever's put in front of you, you'll probably eat because that's what you've always done. You've been told, eat all your food, clear your plate, as opposed to paying attention to your hormones and eating accordingly. So 15 is gauge your hunger. We've put a hunger gauge in the written program, so you can do this over a couple of days, over a week, or continually, is to check how hungry you really are. Now, I was only talking yesterday to my daughter about all-inclusive holidays, how people go crazy. They pay for the food for the week, so they can have as much as they want, and when the restaurant's open, they're in there and they eat and eat and eat, and yeah, they'll eat 3 or 4 times their body weight because they pay for it and they can. They don't really need it, they're eating because it's paid for and they can do it. They're not really hungry. Now, yeah, I'm not being judgmental, it's actually quite humorous to watch and very, very understandable. So what we're saying is, rather, because we tend to eat by the clock and creatures of a habit, start paying attention to your hormones and think, okay, am I really hungry? Or am I just eating out of habit because that's what I've always done? By doing this, by paying attention, okay, am I really hungry? How hungry am I? Am I satisfied? Am I overeating? The more you get in tune, the more you'll start to balance and eat in tune with your hormones, and the more your waistline will naturally go where you want it to go, because you're eating away with what your body wants, not through habits or just seeing things around you. Not always easy if you're in an environment where things are being made for you, but if you have certainly if you have control of your environment, what you're eating, it's far easier if you gauge your hunger and then you eat according to what your hunger's telling you. So maybe do it for 24 hours or a couple of days or a week, just noting how hungry you are at certain points just before meals, and then eating accordingly. This will help you not overeat and eat in tune with your body, as opposed to eating in tune with the clock or previous ingrained habits. Okay, now within the written program, you'll see for each of the 15 core behaviours, there's lots more information. So the core behaviours and success principles, they're forming the framework around which you put everything else on to take this program forward and weave it into your everyday life. A lot of information there, so please study the written side as you start to formulate your routine moving forward. Okay, I've talked enough on this one, so that is the end of section 10. I'll see you in section 11, where we're going to talk about a little weight loss routine as a little kickstarter if you need it. I'll see you there.